So today I'm going to install a learning record store in a server, and with a learning record store or LRS, you can capture almost any type of learning data from anywhere, right? As opposed to SCORM, which can just capture completion, right? So I'm going to do this in Ubuntu 14.04 server. I suppose this should work in other systems as well. The LRS that we're going to install is Learning Locker V2. It's a pretty solid open source software which is quite powerful with a lot of documentation in the product side. They also have installation tutorials for AWS, other servers using install scripts, and also custom installations. And now I wanted to install this in a 14.04 LTS server, and somehow my prior installs were failing, probably due to the low memory of the system. So the steps I'm detailing here are what work for me. I suggest to use the tutorials in the Learning Locker site first, and if they don't work, try this tutorial. I'll be giving a link to the Learning Locker installation instructions and also my GitHub page where I'll be documenting the installation instructions that I use here. So feel free to use either of them, whichever works for you. So let's get started. Like I said, I'll be following the instructions in my GitHub page. Let's update Linux first. Now that's done, let's go ahead and install Node.js. So the ideal way to install Node.js is through NVM, but I follow this method where I use the package manager to install Node.js, and to get the Learning Locker to work, you need to have version 8 installed. So let's go ahead and do that. Now Node.js is installed. Let's confirm the version. We have version 8, which is what we need. Let's install MongoDB now. MongoDB is installed. Let's go ahead and confirm that it's up and running. Yes. Now we are ready to download the installation script from the Learning Locker site. Let's confirm that it's downloaded. Yeah. Now let's run the script. Now this is a very easy and automatic process. You'll be prompted wherever you need to give the inputs. In most of the cases, you can keep on pressing enter to accept the default value. So let's do that. Now we are prompted to set up the configuration of the LRS. We need to set up an organization. I'm going to name it new org, and again I'm going just to add a dummy email account because I'm going to delete the server after the tutorial. So now the LRS installation is done, and the server should be up and running. Let's go back and see with the domain name. It is indeed running, and we can see the login screen, but we are yet to do some more steps. As you can see here, the server is not secure, meaning we are still running an HTTP, and we don't have an HTTPS yet. And this is a common error that we find in LRS installations. We need to make sure that we are securing the server with SSL certificate and routing the traffic to HTTPS instead of HTTP, and that's what we are going to do now. We'll be using Let's Encrypt as a certification authority, and which is a certificate provider which provides free SSL certificates, and we'll be using the certbot client for Learning Locker. Again, I have noted down the comments in my site. Yeah, now we are asked to provide the credential required for the certification. Again, I'm going to use a dummy email. Now we need to enter the domain that we're using. Now we are prompted whether we need to redirect the traffic to HTTPS, and we need to do that. So be selecting to and enter. Now that's done. We should be having HTTPS access in our server now. Here you go. As you can see, now you can see the log icon which makes conveys that our server is secure and we have HTTPS. Now we are ready to go ahead and configure the LRS. We are using the credentials that we have set up with the installation. And you see the organization that we have created is here. A lot of tutorials in the Learning Locker site about configuring the LRS and explaining how to use it. I'm going to quickly, so I'm not going to go through those. I'm going to quickly create a learning record store within the organization. We have a store now, and now we will create a client so that we can start sending the statements. Yeah. So you see here we have the xAPI endpoint, the login name and the password. We also have a basic auth, which is a combination of these two. Now we have enough data to send a statement to the LRS, and we don't have any statements because this is a newly set up server, right? Now that we have all the data required to capture the learning statements, let's go ahead and see how to do that. We basically will be creating a JavaScript bookmarklet in Chrome so that the learner can record any learning activity that he does on the web manually, right? Again, I have given the code here, and the easy way to do this is going to the xAPI bookmarklet page. They have a simple script to create this. Here you go. So let's enter the learner's name. And email. Let's use the credentials from the LRS. Generate the bookmarklet. Yeah, see here. Now, as you see, a bookmarklet, an xAPI reporter bookmarklet is created. You should be able to drag this to the bookmark tab. I'm not sure why it's not working, so let's manually create a bookmark with this link. Just paste the link that you copied. Save. Right, now you see here that a bookmarklet is created, and let's go ahead and record some learning. So the learner has read this page and want to record this learning in the LRS. It's going to click this book, and you see that there is a JavaScript window has popped up. So you select read. I'm going to say writing as 2. So I'm going to send the statement now. See that the statement is sent. Let's go back and check the LRS now. And you can see now that the statement has come to the LRS, and it's recorded here with the learner's name, the verb, and the activity. And yeah, so if you want to visualize, you can just go ahead and create dashboards and visualize it in more deeply. But I think for this tutorial, and we are good, right? So feel free to add any comments with any questions or any help on the installation or how to use the LRS and how to use other tools to send statements to LRS.